Okay, this video, I'm going to go over reconstitution of a powdered medication such as this NAD here. You can also use this video for reconstituting hCG or pregnyl if you do those injections. So most of the time your kit should come with this syringe here. This is going to be a 10 ml syringe with a needle on it, most likely a 25 gauge needle. I think on here it might be a 22. Yep. So we'll go ahead and remove that, and we have our syringe here. And then we'll have some bacteriostatic water or normal saline that we'll use to reconstitute the powder. So because this medication is in powder form, we'll actually have to add the liquid to make it a solution so we can inject. So pop off the top here. And then you want to go ahead, if it's not already, if it has already been used, clean off the top, but this one's a fresh one, so we don't have to clean off the top with alcohol. We'll go ahead and draw up 10 mLs of solution. So 10 mLs will go ahead and be your dilutant volume, regardless of whether it's hCG or NAD. So let's go ahead and get the 10 mLs. And you can see there's some pressure drawing this up. So I'm just letting the syringe fill. And then I'll go ahead and pull down to the 10 mLs. And I'll show you guys what that looks like. Get my little air bubble out. There's a small air bubble, no big deal. But you can see here that we have 10 mLs of our sterile water. Then we pop the cap off of our NAD or our pregnyl or hCG. There's always a bullseye in these vials. So you'll want to go ahead and put that syringe in a bullseye, and you don't really need to press. It's actually just going to kind of go in, and you'll press a little bit now and then let the pressure come off. So a lot of times with these vials, there'll be some pressure in the vial. So you have to release the pressure into the syringe. You see how that's the pressure is building up and then it's releasing into the syringe. If you don't do that when you take the needle off, there will be a lot of pressure that's built up and it can squirt out. So just going to keep doing that, releasing all the pressure till I get my full 10 mLs in of the sterile water. So I went ahead and did that. And then you can see there was no pressure in there. And then I'm just going to invert it lightly just to make sure that that solution's reconstituted. I still see a little bit of the powder in the bottom. So I'm just going to keep doing that. And you can, you're pretty much done with this. You can technically use this needle to inject if you want, or you can grab a new needle. That is completely fine. You're not going to use this syringe though, because that's too big of a syringe to inject. So that is how to reconstitute NAD or hCG or pregnyl. After it's reconstituted, you want to go ahead and pop it in the refrigerator. It needs to stay refrigerated. Okay. Before it's reconstituted, if it's just in this type of little box and vial, then you don't need to refrigerate it if it's just a powder. Okay. Thank you. So today I'm going to go over injecting testosterone and why the different sizes of your needle matters. So in your testosterone kit, you should get two different size needles. You'll get an 18 gauge needle here and a 27 or a 25 gauge needle. And I'm going to show you guys the difference so you can see the logic behind it. So you can see here the 27 gauge needle is a lot thinner than this 18 gauge needle. You do not want to inject with the 18 gauge needle or it will hurt. Same thing, you do not want to draw up with this 27 gauge needle, or else, because testosterone is an oil, it will not come into the syringe when you try to draw it up, or it will come very slowly. So I always like to know the logic behind the why. And we'll go ahead and put the let me actually get a different syringe here. That one's a little bit too big for this demo. So we'll just go ahead and grab, let's do, most of you guys do about a half ml. So we'll just make a half ml for this one. So on these syringes that already have your needle on the tip, we go ahead and take that needle off because we're going to draw up the testosterone with the 18 gauge, which is the bigger needle hub there. So we'll go ahead and take our alcohol swab, always clean off the bottle with alcohol. And just for this demo, I'm just using some sterile water, but pretend this is testosterone and oil that is very thick to draw up. So we'll clean off that top of the vial. We'll go ahead and shoot for the bullseye in the middle of the vial, and we'll put in our 18 gauge needle. Okay, so this is going to be an oil. It's going to be super thick. Might get some air bubbles, which is fine, but we'll go ahead and just draw up a little past the 0.5, and you can see I have an air bubble. I'm just going to draw it past the 0.5 so I can get that air bubble out, and then we'll go right up to that 0.5 mLs there. You guys can see that a little bit better. Okay, and then we take that off. You do not want to inject with this. It will hurt and you will not be happy with yourself. So go ahead and recap that 18 gauge needle and twist it off. And then you're going to go ahead and grab that 27, 25 gauge needle, and you're going to go ahead and put it on. And now your testosterone is ready to inject in your glute or your deltoid muscle. You do not need to refrigerate testosterone. Testosterone is an oil, so it needs to be kept at room temperature.